happened to you? There was once a time when you made some of the best sports cars on the market. The Celica, Supra, and the MR2 all coexisted in a beautiful 90s paradise. Supercar killers, masquerading as a humble Japanese businessman, accountant in the streets, ninja in the sheets. And yes, although this specific example may not have been a supercar killer, being the SW21 naturally aspirated variant, it's the premise behind it that still holds true. There's a reason it was nicknamed the poor man's Ferrari. It's a reliable, mid-engine fun sports car for the masses. This 2.2-liter 4-cylinder, or 5SFE power plant, managed to churn out 130 horsepower in 1991, good for an 8.4 second 0 to 60 time. Now, you might be thinking that those stats aren't very performance car-like, even in the 90s. And admittedly, straight-line acceleration isn't where this car shines, but rather, it's in the corners. Take an MR2 out onto a canyon road, point it towards a hairpin, hit the brakes, turn in, and spin out. Wait. Okay, so maybe the early SW20s had a tendency for snap oversteer. At least they fixed it for the later year models. But hey, a telling quality of a good sports car is the adrenaline rush you get from driving it, and nothing does that better than a near-death experience. After 28 years, countless owners, and a near untraceable paper trail that would make a serial killer proud, the dilapidated nature of this exterior should be of no surprise. Perhaps the most glaring blemish here is the paint's condition. In 1991, this MR2 drove off the showroom floor, a glistening, super white blur as it drove past envious onlookers. Over time, it exchanged hands, 2, 3, 10 times, who knows? Somewhere along the line, though, someone decided, to heck with white, I like orange. And so it was painted orange with what I can only assume was an 89-cent Duplicolor spray paint can. I guess they truly took to heart the words of the car's chief engineer when he said, "The MR2 should be the perfect spirit of freedom. In this car, he can find the freedom to be himself." Fair enough, I suppose. Nevertheless, under current ownership, it was repainted yet again back to white. Even the fog lights were painted white. Trust me when I say it looks really convincing from only 100 feet away. A valiant attempt, but fell just short of perfection. Aside from poor paint condition, be it overspray, peeling, or burn marks, at least it's free of rust. But that's about the only positive. To make things worse, the front bumper is held on with homemade brackets, and the T-tops leak even at the thought of rain. Move over Lotus and step aside Ariel Atom. This is how you make a race car for the road. The mark of any great sports car is its ability to emulate the exhilarating, raw experience of a race car. And every aspect of this interior has been purposefully designed with that ideology in mind. Don't think for a second that what you see here is due to negligence. No, this is function over form in its purest essence. Steering column shroud? Psh, much too heavy. Get rid of it. Save yourself a healthy 8 ounces. Now that's weight reduction. And the weight savings don't stop there. An aftermarket steering wheel has been installed, which of course has no pesky airbag to weigh you down. And lest we forget the push-button start system, this genius design doesn't even require any car key whatsoever. The benefits here are immeasurable. Say goodbye to carrying around car keys everywhere you go. Not only do you get added weight savings, but never again will you drop your keys into a Waffle House toilet. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time that's happened, am I right? The performance features in this cockpit continue to show themselves in places you'd least expect. Like how the blower motor only operates at max velocity and at maximum temperature. Not being able to select cabin temp or fan speed may seem like a hindrance, but this is in fact a high-performance trick of the trade. Hot air will always be extracted from the engine bay as quick as possible this way, allowing for extreme performance. Not to mention, you'll be sweating so much you'll likely lose tons of water weight, ergo more weight reduction. It's a perfect storm. Being a Toyota, You may expect this MR2 to be relatively trouble-free mechanically. Unfortunately, due to poor service history and questionable owner habits over the past 2 decades, this monument to Japanese engineering has certainly seen better days. Even still, the engine and transmission in this vehicle are all original, which is impressive in its own right. In this case, however, that's not exactly a bragging point. Look towards the engine bay and you'll find small leaks coming from the radiator. But that's the least of concern. Just recently, a bolt sheared off of the alternator, causing the belt to shred itself to pieces. And if that's not enough to get the adrenaline pumping, then taking the car for a quick highway cruise might do the trick. At highway speeds, the steering wheel vibrates violently. Imagine trying to calm down a rabid feral cat with your bare hands while driving 70 miles per hour. Then add to the equation a suspension so stiff that any bump on the highway results in momentary flight, and it'll transform your boring commute into the likes of a rally stage. The suspension behavior is at no fault of Toyota though. That in particular is thanks to a cheap set of China Bay coilovers. I'd like to say that the problems end there, but sadly, the list goes on. Shifting gears is like playing a game of Operation. One wrong move and you'll be notified with an abrupt buzz from the cogs. Getting it into reverse takes a bit of polite motivation. And yes, thanks to a quick adjustment to the fuel-air mixture, this car does shoot flames. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next mile.